Part 128. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 1272. Zhang Chen returned to the office, sat down at the desk, turned on the computer, searched for Shonda's official website, saw the game Legend of Hot Blood, and clicked to download and install. During the installation, a picture flashed on the computer. Zhang Chen was a little surprised. The picture was exquisite, and the characters in it all seemed to have the same appearance as in the Legend of the Gods, which had a very stage effect. After the installation was completed, registration started. Zhang Chen gave himself the name Zhang Mumu. 3 professions appeared on the computer screen for you to choose from, namely warrior, Taoist priest and mage. Zhang Chen didn't understand them very well and didn't know these. What are the differences between the characters? He chose the mage. He thought the mage should have the ability to turn stone into gold, which was a bit cool. Entering the game, Zhang Chen saw that he was dressed in civilian clothes. He was very different from the mage in the profession he had chosen. He was a bit shabby. He was standing in a novice village, with a novice instructor standing next to him. Zhang Chen couldn't help but laugh. The instructor, it seems that he is destined to be with him. Zhang Chen clicked on the novice instructor. The instructor first welcomed him and then instructed him to complete the novice tasks. Below is a blue coordinate. After Zhang Chen clicked on this coordinate with the mouse, his body began to move automatically. Outside the village, Zhang Chen saw that there were many chickens and sheep here, as well as many novices like him, who were all here killing chickens and sheep with hay. 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 There were some with bare hands, some with sticks in their hands, and some with swords in their hands. Zhang Chen didn't know where to get the sticks and swords, so he could only wave his arms with his bare hands and kill a person. When he stepped on a chicken, the dead chicken disappeared. When the chicken was put in his backpack, Zhang Chen was very interested and started to kill the second one. At this time, he saw a woman next to him who happened to kill a chicken. He quickly grabbed it and stood on the dead chicken, trying to snatch it away. Unexpectedly, the dead chicken lay there and didn't move. Zhang Chen could only walk away. The woman came over, and the dead chicken disappeared immediately. Only then did Zhang Chen understand that he could not keep the chicken that he had not killed. The woman seemed to know what Zhang Chen wanted to do. A black dialogue box appeared above her head, cursing, "Idiot. Haha, she is still a Sichuan girl." Zhang Chen laughed and thought, could this be He Hongmei or Xiao Zhao? It's impossible for Xiao Zhao. She's not playing games. Where is He Hongmei? It was possible. How did he know if she was also playing Legend? Zhang Chen suddenly thought that it might be He Dongmei who started scolding her, but He Dongmei was more like it, and Zhang Chen was overjoyed. Zhang Chen was killing the chickens conscientiously and saw that his experience value was increasing. Zhang Chen found that each chicken had different numbers on it. Different numbers meant that the vitality of the chickens was also different. Some hay, lying down, some chickens need to be hummed a few times. The bigger the number, the more times they need to be hummed. Zhang Chen understood that these chickens are graded. He saw a sheep nearby and walked over to kill it. He found that it was difficult to kill a sheep with bare hands. Zhang Chen gave up and went back to kill chickens. Zhang Chen had killed more than 10 chickens. He must have gained experience points. A flash of light filled his body. His level had become level 2. He already had a wooden stick in his hand. Zhang Chen only then knowing that the higher the level, the stronger the tool in his hand, Zhang Chen became more motivated. He wanted to turn the wooden stick in his hand into a sword as soon as possible. A dialog box appeared on the screen, prompting him to go to the novice instructor to receive the Chi-Fu necklace task. There was still a coordinate below. Zhang Chen clicked on it and started running. He ran back to the entrance of the village. When he arrived at the instructor, the instructor mentioned Zhang Chen chose to answer the 5 questions one by one. One of the answers was wrong. After choosing again, he answered correctly. After answering all 5 questions correctly, Zhang Chen got a letter of introduction and introduced him to a butcher. Zhang Chen walked to a butcher shop. This butcher shop was a Japanese and Korean-style butcher shop. The butcher was standing at the door, but the cut-up meat is placed in the shop behind him. Zhang Chen thought to himself, this is probably because it was developed by Koreans. If it were painted by a Chinese, it would not be a butcher shop, but a meat stall. In Chinese butcher stalls, the meat is not divided like this, but a piece of meat. On the table, there is half a pig and an axe for chopping meat. On the side of the table, there is a pole, and a whole set of pig intestines, pig hearts, and livers are hung on the pole. If Zhang Chen came to paint, he would draw a meat stall like this, with willow trees on top, the willow branches blown to the west by the breeze, and a butcher who looks like a Guangxi butcher with his coat open and a handful stuck in the waistband of his trousers. Big cattail fan. Zhang Chen talked with the butcher. The butcher asked him to get a chicken and a piece of meat. The quality was not limited. Before Zhang Chen walked outside the village, he saw a chicken. He killed the chicken and the meat had to be taken from a sheep or deer. Zhang Chen saw a deer and hit it. The deer fled far away. Zhang Chen was anxious to complete the task and had no patience to chase it, so he could only go and kill the sheep. Return to the butcher and give the chicken and meat to the butcher. The butcher gives him a Buddhist amulet. The task continues and instructs him to find the bookstore owner. Zhang Chen arrived at the bookstore and talked with the bookstore owner. After the conversation, the bookstore owner took back the Buddha amulet and asked Zhang Chen if he could help. After Zhang Chen chose to help, the bookstore owner called Zhang Chen and got him 5 meats with a quality of 12 or above and 5 quality chickens above 5. Zhang Chen understood that these 12 and 5 were the numbers marked on the sheep and chickens. If you look for it with a purpose, it is not that easy to find. Although there are chickens everywhere, there are not many over 5. Zhang Chen finally found it in a corner and killed 5. Then he went to look for sheep over 12, and there were also some. People were selling the meat to him, but Zhang Chen didn't know how to buy it and ignored him. Zhang Chen got 5 pieces of meat worth 12 or more and 5 pieces of chicken worth 5 or more. He returned to the bookstore, handed the chicken and meat to the bookstore owner, chose I can't accept it, got the Chi-Fu necklace, and then asked for coordinates to get 180 yuan. Starting the next task, Zhang Chen was led by the tasks one by one, from the bookstore owner to the butcher, then to the clothing store owner, to the grocery store owner, the drug store owner, and to the novice village assistant Xiao Min, completed tasks one by one, and received rewards one by one. Zhang Chen feels that this process is very similar to starting a business. Isn't it the same with starting a business? You have to put in effort and labor again and get small results. Even the sense of accomplishment seems to be very similar. Now that he was rich, Zhang Chen went to the clothing store and changed out of his cloth clothes. The clothes began to become high-end, and he also had accessories. The wooden stick in his hand also turned into a sword. Unknowingly, Zhang Chen played with after more than 2 hours, it has been upgraded from level 1 to level 5. In order to get better venison, Zhang Chen chased a deer and actually chased it to a new place, a town. Zhang Chen was shocked. He looked around and found that this place was called Baiki. Not only was the place larger than Xinqiao village, with decent streets, the most important thing is that the men and women here are completely different from the novice villages. They are well dressed and hold all kinds of weird weapons in their hands. Someone was leading a giant animal as a follower, and he looked very majestic. Even though he knew he was in a game, Zhang Chen immediately felt ashamed of himself and felt that he was too shabby. Zhang Chen also saw a person standing motionless on the street. Zhang Chen didn't know what they were doing. He walked up to a very beautiful girl. The girl seemed to be mumbling to herself. Zhang Chen stood in front of her. After a while, I clicked her with the mouse, but she remained indifferent, which was really strange. Zhang Chen hesitated for a moment, picked up the sword in his hand, hey, hey, and slashed her twice, but the other party was still indifferent, not even scolding her as idiot or idiot, which was really strange. Zhang Chen found out later that these were players who had not exited the game, but had temporarily left the computer due to something else. Zhang Chen was walking in Baiki City, so distracted that he even forgot to chase the deer. Zhang Chen saw that there was also a bookstore owner here, and he was about to talk to him. Lu Ligan came in from the outside. Zhang Chen quickly clicked, minimized the game, shrank it into the taskbar, and stood up with a guilty conscience. He was afraid that Lu Ligan would come over and be discovered by him playing Legend. Lu Ligan did not come over, but walked to the sofa and sat down. Zhang Chen walked over and sat down on the sofa. He was still thinking about the game just now. When Lu Ligan talked to him, Lu Ligan also noticed that there was no match, and asked, "What are you doing? Why are you so absent-minded?" Zhang Chen woke up and said quickly, No, my eyes hurt a little. I was looking for information just now and stared at the computer for too long." "You deserve it. What kind of information are you looking for on Sunday?" "It's more like chatting with a girl on Sunday," Lu Ligan said. "Did you chat with a girl on Sunday?" Zhang Chen asked. "Not only on Sundays, when I'm at work, I always chat with pretty girls when I have nothing to do," Lu Ligan said. "Don't tell me, Zhang Chen, picking up girls online is not the same as in reality." "What's different?" "I feel that the horses on the internet are very good. I even follow what you say. Especially, you feel itchy in your heart, but you can't even touch it with your hands. If you can't touch you, do you want to touch you even more? Then it's a wonderful feeling. Aren't you afraid of being discovered by your noble wife?" Lu Ligan laughed and said, "I was really discovered that day. She made sure I clicked on my profile picture to show her, and she said she looked pretty good. That means, go and die. Yes, I was so scared that I quickly deleted her. Then I tried to find her again, but I couldn't find her. Unfortunately, she is from Chengdu. She looks really innocent, much like Yamaguchi Momo," Lu Ligan said. As soon as Lu Ligan sat down, he refused to leave. Zhang Chen's heart seemed to be caught by the game and he wanted to go back to the computer. He really wanted to kick Lu Ligan out of the door, but he didn't. "You know, that's impossible, you can only brag with him." When it was almost 5 o'clock, Xiao Zhao and Xiao Fang came with Xiang Nan and Xiang North, and Xiao Shu also came with them. Xiao Zhao and Zhang Chen said that Xiao Shu wanted to eat at your place. "What about you?" Zhang Chen asked. "Zhen Zhen, Xiao Fang and I took them to Heshang to eat steak, and then went to Qingchun Movie World to watch a movie." Zhang Chen said yes. When Xiaoshu arrived, Zhang Chen quickly walked to his desk and quit the game while calling the canteen below. He was worried that Xiaoshu would come to use his computer. Zhang Chen asked the canteen below to deliver some dishes to them. While he was still on the phone, Xiao Zhao and Xiao Fang led Xiang Nan to north and walked out to find Tan Shahen. When the food was served, Xiaoshu and Lu Ligan quickly spread newspapers on the conference table and took out the dishes one by one. Zhang Chen went to the wine cabinet and took wine and 3 glasses. Xiaoshu also started to learn to drink. He said that those who don't know how to drink will not survive in the class. "We have a classmate who has a bad stomach. He poured Sanjiawita into beer and drank it." While the 3 of them were eating, Zhang Chen thought of a question. "That's not right. You can't use money even if you play games. You've been playing for an entire afternoon and you've almost reached level 6. Didn't you spend a penny? Thank you for reading the book every day, and for the reward of 2 fishes at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Thank you, everlasting Emperor Yan, and Monthly passes for It's Okay, West Wind, Fantasy in the Wind, and Quiet Room. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1273. Xiaoshu, do you want to play Legend? Zhang Chen asked Xiaoshu. Don't play. Xiaoshu shook his head and said, if we don't have that time, there are people in our class who play. After playing that, people are basically useless. Why? Lu Ligan asked. I don't even have time to draw properly, let alone conceive. I'm all focused on games. All day long, I just want to run to the internet cafe outside the school gate. I went to that internet cafe. Oh my god, there's a whole internet cafe. There are more than 100 people, all playing Legend, or in the same guild. At 8 o'clock in the evening, the sand attack operation started, that is, everyone collectively attacked the Shabak Palace. Good guy, it was like a war in the internet cafe. That should be the leader of their guild, holding a loudspeaker and shouting. He directs everyone how to act, where to attack, and how warriors, Taoist priests, and mages cooperate with each other. After 2 hours, some attacks were successful, and it is said that some attacks failed. Whether it was success or failure, the excitement and frustration of everyone in the internet cafe was beyond description. At that time, everything except the game, I can guarantee, they have all been forgotten, Xiaoshu said. If I go, that's equivalent to 2 hours of meetings and study every day. Who can stand it? Lu Ligan said. It's not just 2 hours, we have to concentrate at basically 7 o'clock, and it's not just sand attack operations, Xiaoshu said, you also have to do tasks, dig mines, and fight monsters. Some monsters also require everyone to fight together. After you die, things will explode after you kill them. Everyone grabs them. Whatever you grab depends on your luck. If you don't spend a long time, how will you upgrade and how will you get the equipment? Unless you are very rich. Playing a game, what does it have to do with whether you have money or not? Zhang Chen was puzzled and asked. He remembered that he didn't spend any money. Of course it costs money. It sounds like a game, but it's actually about money. Only rich people can show off their power in it. It's more realistic than the real world. I heard them say that those who are in the limelight in the game are all spending money. Tens or even hundreds of thousands, Xiaoshu said. So much. How was the money spent? Zhang Chen was surprised and asked quickly. Buy some cards. It seems like you need to pay a few dollars every hour you play, but this is the most basic and cheapest option. The bulk of it is finding someone to train and buy equipment. What do you mean? Zhang Chen asked. You want to upgrade, but you don't have that much time to complete tasks. If you want to build equipment, you need to kill monsters and mine. Equipment is dropped from monsters after killing them, or dug out from mines. If you don't have time to be online all day long, just ask someone to help you level up and play online 24 hours a day instead of you. This way you can level up quickly. The equipment inside, whether it is clothing, weapons, a ring, a glove, or a belt, anyway, everything has offensive and defensive power. If you want to live a long time, you can't be attacked. Damn it, if you want to be popular in there, your equipment must get better and better. There is actually no limit to this. Especially some equipment is difficult to obtain. You can't even buy it. So what should you do? Just buy it. Top quality equipment, rare equipment, the asking price is tens of thousands. Think about it, you have to get it from start to finish. How much does it cost to fully equip yourself? So, this game is very boring. If you have money, you want to level up quickly, find someone to train for you, think about the equipment, and buy it. Rich people are in it, and they can get ahead quickly. People without money, don't be stupid. It's useless to fight and practice every day on your own. When you can't get ahead no matter how hard you try, isn't it crueler than reality? Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen looked at each other, and Lu Ligan said, "Not bad, Xiaoshu, you don't play with this, but you still know a lot about it." "I told you, my classmates were playing. I went to watch it with them. After watching it for 2 nights, I realized that this is such a boring thing. Once you get involved in it, it will be like taking drugs, and you will be led away by it. No, it's a waste of money and time, and you're useless. It will also give people a false feeling. You are majestic inside and think you are a big shot. But when you come out, you are actually nothing, just a waste that has wasted everything. I don't even know. When these people return to reality, will they feel lost, and will they immediately want to run back to the game? After I understand this, I will never touch it again. However, I might draw a series of paintings of internet cafes. I would like to draw the faces of all living beings in the internet cafes. It is so interesting. I want to paint them all with red and swollen eyes and messy hair. Isn't there a big contrast between the picture of a depressed-looking person and his all-powerful image on the internet?" As Xiaoshu said, Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen nodded constantly, feeling that Xiaoshu really wanted to understand, but it would be too difficult for Zhang Xiangbei to understand this. At the same time, what Xiaoshu said, once he gets involved, once you get on it, you will be led by it. Zhang Chen felt that it was really true that he was in the game and was being directed to go here and there, as if he could not help himself. After eating, Lu Ligan said he would go to the bowling alley owned by Lu Bang, the founder of the Han Dynasty, to play bowling. Zhang Chen said he was a little tired and wanted to rest for a while, "So you go first." Lu Ligan and Xiaoshu left. As soon as they left, Zhang Chen immediately returned to the computer and re-entered the game. He was a little surprised by his move. He was a little tired in some way, and he was completely thinking about the game. Zhang Chen smiled bitterly. While lamenting his lack of self-control, he comforted himself that he was not playing a game, but wanted to figure out what the game was about for Zhang Xiangbei. When he was thinking like this, he felt weak in his heart. Do you want to understand? Xiaoshu has already made it clear to you, what else do you want to find out? Figure it out, it's just a cover to deceive yourself, right? Zhang Chen resisted feebly, and finally had to admit that he just wanted to play. After admitting that he just wanted to play, when the addiction was so strong, Zhang Chen thought again, it seems that Zhang Xiangbei is the one who inherited it from him. This is the style of having a father. Zhang Chen broke into a cold sweat. He wanted to stand up from the computer immediately, but there seemed to be an invisible force that made him unable to move or stand up. His mind was thinking wildly, but his hands were never idle. He kept clicking the mouse to complete the task. One mission after another. 1 hour, another hour of playing, and I won't play anymore. Zhang Chen set a time limit for himself. After the time limit, he suddenly became more relaxed. He looked at his watch and saw that he could play freely within an hour. Soon, he reached the 7th level. After reaching the 7th level, if he continued to play, he would have to pay. Zhang Chen looked at his watch. There were still more than 40 minutes left before the hour he agreed to. Zhang Chen took the money from his wallet. I took out my bank card, followed the path indicated above, step by step, and paid 200 yuan into my account. Zhang Chen was lucky. When he was fighting scarecrows in the Wuma forest, he got an ebony sword. This sword assisted him and upgraded quickly. However, the hour he had set was almost up, and Lu Ligan called. "Come over and ask him why he hasn't come yet." Zhang Chen wanted to say in his heart that he would do it right away, but when he said it, he said, "I'm too tired, forget it, you guys can play, I can't come over." After hanging up the phone, I told myself that since I was no longer going, I would play for another hour. Having made up his mind, he started visiting weapon stores, clothing stores, and jewelry stores in Beach City, and changed everything on his body, not just once, but several times. He had to visit almost every time he leveled up. See if there are more powerful weapons suitable for this level, and if so, replace them immediately. At this time, he could enter the centipede cave to fight monsters. If he died in the middle of the fight, he would die and return to Beach City, and then he would run hard there again. Time was wasted on the road. He realized the little trees. In short, if you want to live for a long time without being beaten to death, you must have good equipment. Really, change it? The money was soon running out, so he added another 500. At this time, the hour he expected had already passed. Since he has such good equipment, wouldn't it be a pity not to play for a while? Isn't the money wasted in vain? He kept comforting himself with such words. The sound of people talking came from the yard outside. Zhang Chen was startled and stood up quickly, minimizing the game interface. He looked at the time and saw that it was already 9:40. He thought it was Xiao Zhao and Tan Shahen who were back. He walked to the door, opened it, and Zhang Chen breathed a sigh of relief. It turned out to be Su Qiaxin and Ji Yiling, not Tan Shahen and Xiao Zhao. At 10 o'clock, Zhang Chen's cell phone rang. He picked it up and it was Xiao Zhao. Zhang Chen quickly asked, "Have you finished watching the movie?" "It's over, we are all home," Xiao Zhao said. "Are you home?" Zhang Chen asked strangely. "What about Tan Shahen, why didn't you see her?" "We sent her downstairs and then came back." "She should have gone back to her room," Xiao Zhao said. Zhang Chen responded with "Oh. Dear, are you still in the office?" Xiao Zhao asked. Zhang Chen said yes, he was working on something and I might come back later. "From Target?" Zhang Chen answered vaguely. "Okay, I'll wash up and go to bed first," Xiao Zhao said. Zhang Chen quickly said, "Okay, you go to bed first." Putting down the phone, Zhang Chen felt his face burning. He remembered what he said in the office that morning. The worst case scenario is that he lies randomly because he wants to avoid this matter. Zhang Chen didn't. Thinking of it, it was not Zhang Xiangbei who lied randomly, but himself. "Zhang Chen, you are really rotten," Zhang Chen scolded himself, but a voice in his heart immediately said, "If you are rotten, just rot, just for one day." Zhang Chen walked to the door again, opened the door, and looked towards the dormitory building. He saw that the lights in Tan Shahen's room were on, and Lu Ligan's room was still dark. This guy hadn't come back yet. After closing the door, Zhang Chen thought. After thinking about it, he reached out and turned off the lights in the office. In the whole room, there was only a little light from the computer screen. In this way, when Lu Ligan comes back, he will think that there is no one in the office, otherwise, this guy will come in and refuse to leave. Zhang Chen sat back in front of the computer, preparing to enter Centipede Cave again. Thank you for your monthly votes from Qianlian, Zhengji, Humorous Tribe, Flowers and Boys, Book Friends 1607240934044273, and Yunmenjo 1998. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you a nice weekend. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1274. The office door was kicked, and then Lu Ligan's cry was heard, "Zhang Chen! Zhang Chen!" Zhang Chen held his breath and made no sound. After a while, he heard Lu Ligan say, "This guy, his aunt is probably here today and has already gone back. Let's go, I will take you home." Then he heard Xiaoshu's laughter and said, "No need, brother Zanzi, it's too much trouble. I'll fight back myself." "What's the trouble? Just press the accelerator and let's go." After the two people left, Jiang Chen breathed a sigh of relief and could continue. After a while, Jiang Chen heard the voices of Lu Ligan and Tan Shahan talking, and realized that Lu Ligan had returned from sending the little tree off. The two of them chatted for a while about Su Wenhui's Wuhan company. He had just called Lu Ligan. The poll is up. Then, Jiang Chen heard Lu Ligan and Tan Shahan say that Jiang Chen didn't even turn off his computer, but there seemed to be a light inside. Jiang Chen hurriedly sat there, not daring to move, cursing in his mind, "You are a humming thief. With the curtains drawn, you can still see such a light." Tan Shahan said, "Maybe it's the light coming from splendid Jiangnan." Lu Ligan said, "Oh." Jiang Chen heard the two people go back to their rooms. Next, everything was silent. Jiang Chen looked at the time and saw that it was already past 11 o'clock. After level 12, upgrading becomes more and more difficult. You need to fight more monsters and gain more experience points, and the time required is getting longer and longer. What worries Jiang Chen the most is that in the store there are fewer and fewer things that can be purchased. Most of the equipment in the store is for low-level novices. There is no longer what Jiang Chen needs. Everything Jiang Chen needs will fall from the monsters. Only when you happen to meet other players and sell them as garbage will you happen to have them here. And these equipments, for many high-level players, are not even bothered to pick up, so there are not many. The trouble is, there are many times when Jiang Chen picks up items that are of sufficient level, but are of the wrong profession and cannot be worn. Jiang Chen has no use for them and can only sell them. At around 3 o'clock, when Jiang Chen reached level 18 in one breath, it seemed that it was difficult to level up. Low-level monsters had little experience in fighting them, but high-level monsters were not beaten by Jiang Chen, but by Jiang Chen. In the morning, he was beaten back to Beach City in 2 strikes. When Jiang Chen was looking for weapons in the weapons store, a guy came over to chat with him and asked him if he wanted a full set of mage equipment. "What's there?" Jiang Chen asked. "Magic wand and skull helmet and magic robe and magnifying glass and ebony bracelet and demon-slaying ring," the other party said. "How much?" 5,000. Game currency. Haha, RMB. Too expensive. I really want it, 4,080, fixed price. Jiang Chen thought for a moment. He knew that 2 of them were not equipped at his current level, but they would be used soon. Jiang Chen felt itchy in his heart, and finally couldn't help it and asked, "How to trade?" "Do you have a phone?" "Preferably a mobile phone," the other party said. Jiang Chen told him his mobile phone number. Jiang Chen's cell phone rang immediately. He looked at it and saw that it was an unfamiliar cell phone number. He picked up the phone. "Do you want to buy a suit?" the other party asked. Jiang Chen said yes. "Are you the one who wants to sell?" The other party also said that he was right, but Jiang Chen still asked him how to do the transaction. The other party said, "You have online banking, you transfer money, and I will give you the things in the game. If you see it, I will still stand by your side." "That won't work," Jiang Chen said. "What if you are a liar? I transferred the money to you, but you didn't give me the equipment." The other party said, "Well, I'll give you half of the equipment first, and you transfer the money. After the transfer is completed, send me the information that the transfer is successful, and I will give you the other half immediately." Seeing that Jiang Chen was still hesitating, the other party continued, "I'm not even worried about you not paying for half of the equipment." "What are you worried about? Didn't you see that I also have a mobile phone? Don't worry, I won't cheat you out of 2,000 yuan. Jiang Chen thought for a while and said yes, that's what he would do. Immediately, a dialog box appeared, prompting the other party to give him a skull helmet as a gift, and asked him if he would accept it. Jiang Chen clicked accept, and the skull helmet went into his backpack, followed by the wand and magic robe. "Okay, it's your turn. The account number and name have been sent to your mobile phone," the other party said on the phone. Jiang Chen said yes, I will transfer it immediately. After transferring the money, Zhang Chen sent a text message to the other party indicating that the transfer was successful. On the screen, the guy presented him with an ebony bracelet, a magnifying glass and a demon-killing ring. Zhang Chen kept them one by one. Happy cooperation, the dialog box said. At the same time, Zhang Chen's cell phone rang again. It was still the same number. Zhang Chen answered it, and the other party said to him, "Brother, please save my number. If you need anything in the future, just call me. We have everything here, as long as it is from Shanda." Zhang Chen wondered, "Where did you come from these things?" "It's made," the other party said. "We are a company that specializes in making equipment and providing power training for our customers. If you need power training, you can also contact me." Zhang Chen suddenly realized that he was really rare and strange. He didn't know that there was another kind of company in the world that made money specifically through this. Zhang Chen said, "Okay, I understand." With the new equipment, Zhang Chen immediately put it on, and he felt a whole new look. He saw that now, he was exactly the same as the mage in the 3 pictures for them to choose from. Zhang Chen was very satisfied and felt that the money was well spent. When walking in Beach City, Zhang Chen subconsciously puffed up his chest. He felt that he should have some wind when walking. After reaching level 23, it was already dawn outside. Zhang Chen stood up, walked to the window, and opened the curtains. The sun had risen outside, and the waves of the canal came into his eyes. Reality, the world is back. Zhang Chen stared out the window blankly, and a voice in his heart said, Zhang Chen, what did you do this night?" At the same time, he also thought that even he could get stuck in this game and be unable to get out, not to mention Zhang Xiangbei. Adults really said that it is easy for children, but in many cases, he was not even as good as a child. Not only Zhang Xiangbei, as long as he is led by this game, of course Zhang Xiangbei will not be able to study hard. Can he manage the company well? Zhang Chen went to the bathroom and took a cold shower. He completely woke up. He sat on the sofa for a while and thought about everything. My hands and feet felt cold just thinking about it. He stood up, walked to the computer, logged out of Zhang Mumu's account, and then deleted the entire game, even though there was still money in the account, even though he had just spent 4,800 to buy it a few hours ago. A set of equipment. He has also decided that he wants to say goodbye to this game completely. "We can't continue," Zhang Chen said to himself, "otherwise you will become a useless person, just like Xiaoshu said, unless you want to dominate the internet for the rest of your life." Zhang Chen stood up and walked out of the door. He looked towards the dormitory building and suddenly shouted, "Pull!" Lu Ligan rolled off the bed, pulled on his slippers, opened the door, and saw Zhang Chen turning down the stairs. "Crazy," Lu Ligan cursed, thinking, "What is this bastard doing in the office so early?" He didn't know that he had been fighting here all night. Zhang Chen returned home. Xiao Zhao was still lying on the bed and didn't get up. Zhang Chen got on the bed and hugged Xiao Zhao. Xiao Zhao didn't even open his eyes. She smiled and reached out to touch Zhang Chen's face. "Touch? You didn't come back until now?" Xiao Zhao asked. Zhang Chen said and hugged Xiao Zhao, curling up like a person who has made a mistake. "Go to sleep, dear, I won't call you later," Xiao Zhao said, turning around, hugging him, and patting his back gently, like coaxing a baby. Zhang Chen said yeah again, feeling a little guilty and sad. He hugged Xiao Zhao tighter. As soon as the school bell rang in the afternoon, Zhang Xiangbei and 2 other classmates rushed out. They ran downstairs and ran to the school gate. After exiting the school gate, they turned right for 100 meters and found the Fei Yang Internet Cafe. The 3 people ran here. They didn't even need to register. They just ran in. When they saw 3 empty seats, they sat down. After a while, the sister would come over to collect the deposit. Where do they have time to register? In just 5 minutes, the internet cafe will be noisy, and all the empty seats will be occupied by classmates from their school. Fortunately, today, they are better than the 6th grade and junior high school classes. School ends early and one person can grab a computer, which is so cool. Usually, most of the time, they can only grab 1 or 2 computers, and the 3 of them take turns doing tasks. They only have time to finish the tasks that must be done that day before going home. As for these 2 computers, Zhang Xiangbei negotiated with his sister who managed the internet cafe, and he agreed to pay double the internet fee, so they kept them for him. Legend of Hot Blood is on the desktop, and almost everyone in the internet cafe here is playing this game. Zhang Xiangbei opened the game, entered his name and password, and entered Beach City. The first thing he had to do was the tasks he had to do today. Only in this way could he ensure the speed of his upgrade and not fall behind those 2 classmates. Later, Zhang Xiangbei bought a lot of equipment and gave some to the 2 classmates, but the 3 of them were still rubbish. Even if the 3 of them joined forces, they didn't dare to fight the powerful monsters. To explode those high-end equipment, they could only mainly do the tasks. Zhang Xiangbei was playing and felt someone standing behind him. Zhang Xiangbei looked back and was startled. "Dad!" Zhang Xiangbei shouted and stood up quickly. The other 2 people trembled when they heard the shout and stood up. The 3 children stood there with their heads lowered and their faces flushed. The other students chuckled, secretly glad. Okay, this is not their father." Even the little girl who was watching the internet cafe suddenly became nervous and quickly called her boss. If a child was caught in the internet cafe by his parents, the internet cafe would definitely follow him and be scolded by the angry parents. She couldn't be nervous. Zhang Chen smiled at them and said to Zhang Xiangbei, sit down, keep playing, Daddy will watch you play." Zhang Xiangbei looked at Zhang Chen and thought that this was a joke. He dared to sit down. Zhang Chen stared at the computer screen and asked, "Zhang Xiangbei, which one of these is you?" Zhang Xiangbei pointed to a soldier and said, "This one." Zhang Chen looked at it and said with a smile, "Xiao Xiao Xiao Po. Why do you choose such a name? But it sounds nice. Hurry up, get on with the task, otherwise it will be too late. Dad will be here to watch. At 5 o'clock we will. Is it okay to go?" Zhang Xiangbei quickly nodded turned around and sat down. After playing for a while, he forgot that there was a father standing behind him. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1275. At 5 o'clock, Zhang Xiangbei followed Zhang Chen downstairs and walked home from here. In only 6 or 7 minutes, the 2 of them walked into the Jingxiu home community. Zhang Chen did not take him home, but took him following him. He walked to the parking lot. "Dad, where are we going?" Zhang Xiangbei asked curiously. Zhang Chen said, "Shall we go eat KFC now?" "Okay, then I'll call my sister," Zhang Xiangbei said and wanted to run home. Zhang Chen stopped him. Zhang Chen said, "It's just the 2 of us going today. When we come back, what will my sister like to eat? You can bring it to her again, okay?" Zhang Xiangbei said yes. Zhang Chen drove the car and thought for a moment. At this time, there should be fewer people at the KFC at the Shuangling intersection of Qingchun Road, so he drove there. The 2 ordered food, took the trays to the 2nd floor, picked a dining table in front of the floor-to-ceiling glass near Qingchun Road, and sat down face to face. Zhang Chen looked at Zhang Xiangbei, waiting for him to finish 2 pieces of food hungrily. Referring to the original chicken, I must be a little full, so I started to ask him, "Is the game Legend fun?" Zhang Xiangbei looked at Zhang Chen and wondered what he meant by asking. Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Tell the truth." Zhang Xiangbei nodded and said, "It's fun." "I think it must be fun," Zhang Chen said, "otherwise, you wouldn't run there every day at noon and again in the afternoon after school. Zhang Xiangbei smiled sheepishly. Dad, you know, did Aunt Xiaofang tell you? She also promised not to tell Mom and Dad. This is not important, Zhang Chen said. Do you think Dad knows? It's good or bad? Zhang Xiangbei picked up another piece of finger-licking original chicken and said as he ate it. Oh, what about this? For example, like today, it's good if Dad knows about it, he's not angry, and he still has KFC to eat. Zhang Xiangbei said. It's not good if we tie him up and beat him with a belt like Sun Xianjiang's dad did. Who is Sun Xiangyang? The fat guy sitting next to me is the one in front. His father whipped him with a belt, and he still wants to play. Let's play secretly without letting his father know. Zhang Xiangbei, what do you think? I mean, from your own point of view, do you think parents should be as good as Sun Xianjiang's father, or as good as his father? Zhang Xiangbei stopped chewing, thought about it seriously, and said, most parents will be like Sun Xianjiang's father. That's normal. To be like Dad, it's a bit surprising. Oh, Zhang Chen laughed, why do you think it's normal to be like Sun Xianjiang's father? We're playing games. You should just play games, right? It affects learning. Then do you think it affects learning? Zhang Chen asked. Zhang Xiangbei looked at Zhang Chen, not daring to say anything. Zhang Chen smiled and said, let me tell you what you really think. Now, Dad is not your dad, but just a friend of yours. Let's discuss this issue, okay? Zhang Xiangbei nodded. Zhang Chen said, or, for example, now, you are not Zhang Xiangbei, but your father, think about it, does playing games affect learning? It still affects me, Zhang Xiangbei said. Especially during the fourth quarter class in the morning and when school is about to end in the afternoon, I am thinking about how to complete the tasks in the game and what the teacher is talking about. I basically didn't hear it. Then do you think this is good? Zhang Chen asked. Not good, Zhang Xiangbei said with his head lowered. Well, I know it's not good, but I can't control it. It's impossible not to think about it, right? Yes, Dad, that's it. Zhang Xiangbei, oh, no, Xiao Po, what level are you at now? 27. 27? Not bad, Zhang Chen smiled, is leveling up very hard. Zhang Xiangbei nodded and muttered, it's not bad, it's just trash, and you'll be tortured in there. Did you see that there are a lot of people in their 40s or 50s who are really bad guys? Of course, those are all great gods. Do you want to become such a great god? Zhang Xiangbei's eyes lit up and he shouted, of course I want to. If you become a great god, you can kill anyone you don't like with one knife and send him back to Beach City. Then what do you need to do to become a great god? Don't think about it, it's impossible, Zhang Xiangbei said without raising his head, I am destined to be trash. Why? There is a great master in Feiyang Internet Cafe, level 47, who is very impressive. He ignores everyone else talking to him, Zhang Xiangbei said. Then why do you think you can't be like him? How is that possible? Zhang Xiangbei shouted, he goes there at 10 o'clock every morning. When we go there at noon, he has been playing for several hours. When we go there after school, he is still there. When we leave, he's still there, he plays for more than 10 hours a day. That's possible, Zhang Chen said. Dad, go and tell your teacher to let you drop out of school. Drop out? Zhang Xiangbei was startled and asked, Dad, are you crazy? No, Dad is not crazy. He is saying that after you drop out of school, you can play for more than 10 hours a day like him. Then your level will soon rise. Maybe you will surpass him and become a when you reach level 57 or 58, you will be more confident in the game. You can torture whoever you want, and you can rush to the front when attacking the Sabak Palace. Zhang Xiangbei opened his eyes wide and stared at Zhang Chen, as if he didn't recognize Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen also looked at him and continued with a serious expression. How about it, Zhang Xiangbei, if you want to do this, Dad will discuss with Mom and let you drop out of school. Then, you won't have to attend classes, play badminton, or practice violin. You will just play in the internet cafe every day. Legend, okay. Zhang Xiangbei sighed, forget it, if that happens, I will be beaten to death by my sister. Jiang Chen burst into laughter and said, is it just because you're afraid of my sister getting raped? It's not just me, I just don't want to drop out of school. Zhang Xiangbei said, in that case, if all my classmates go to school and I am the only one who doesn't learn, it won't be good either. Well, what should we do now, Zhang Xiangbei? If you don't want to drop out of school, you won't have so much time to practice leveling. Moreover, even if it is like this, it will affect your studies. So what do you think we should do? Jiang Chen asked. Zhang Xiangbei sighed again, I don't know what to do. Dad has a way, Jiang Chen said. What can we do? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Did you know that this game is leveled by someone? The great master in the internet cafe you mentioned. He might lead several accounts every day. I know, private server, you can hang up. In this case, Daddy will help you find someone to level up for you every day, so that you can quickly turn your little one into a great master, okay? Real? Yes, you see many great masters in the game. In fact, they were helped by others to level up, including in this world. Everyone has a different division of labor. For example, a teacher should be a teacher, and you students should be students, Mom. Just take care of the finances, and Dad will take care of the design. We will also divide the work. You will take care of school and play, and leave the leveling to others. In this way, when you are in class, don't worry about whether you have completed any tasks or how much time you have left to level up. Dad guarantees that there will be someone to help you practice 24 hours a day. You will not be left behind on any task. Upgrading is very easy. Come on, Xiao Xiao Po, it will become the 55th district in no time. I remember you are the 55th district, right? Dad promises that you will soon become the master of District 55. When you come back every day, you don't have to complete tasks or level up. You don't even need to buy equipment yourself. You will be responsible for torturing people every day, okay? Zhang Xiangbei sat there, almost dumbfounded. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, before he could react, Jiang Chen shouted, hey, Zhang Xiangbei, Dad is talking to you, let's just do it like this, okay? Zhang Xiangbei took a breath and asked, is this really possible, Dad? Of course. When did Dad lie to you? That's too exaggerated. Jiang Chen smiled and said, Dad promises that this can be achieved, but we also have to make an agreement. What agreement? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Since someone has already trained for you, you don't have to think about the game. Just listen to the lectures and you are not allowed to go to the internet cafe at noon. Also, my father will ask someone to install a computer at Grandma's place tomorrow and install it. Broadband and internet speed will be very fast. In this way, after school, you don't have to go to the internet cafe, but go home. You can choose your own time and torture people and monsters online for an hour every day, okay? Zhang Xiangbei looked at Jiang Chen, and Jiang Chen said, Dad, tell the truth to you, can you agree? Zhang Xiangbei nodded and said, okay. Jiang Chen stretched out his hand, then we have an agreement. Zhang Xiangbei patted him happily. Tell me your login password, Jiang Chen said. Zhang Xiangbei told him that it was Xiao Zhao's birthday. Jiang Chen looked at Zhang Xiangbei. He knew that the truth had been explained. What made Jiang Chen most gratified was that Zhang Xiangbei did not choose to drop out of school, and he also understood many things. But this whole thing is not that simple. It doesn't mean that you know what to do after you understand the truth. Let alone children, there are also adults who say one thing and do another. Who doesn't know how to kill people? Corrupt officials who have to pay with their lives don't know that accepting bribes will lead to jail time, but can they stop it on their own? Zhang Chen knows that it is not that simple to overcome Zhang Xiangbei's gaming addiction. He has experienced it himself. He understands what the addiction is. If it is not cured from the root, it will be useless. You caught him in this internet cafe today. He will go to another internet cafe tomorrow. Can you check all the internet cafes in Hangzhou every day, or can you follow him every day? Sun Xiangjiang's father tied up Sun Xiangyang and whipped him with a belt. Did Sun Xiangyang stop playing games from now on? Zhang Chen knew that there were some extreme parents who even destroyed other people's internet cafes, but it was of no use. It was just no use. Thank you U178461228, for reading the book every day, and for rewarding me with 2 fishes at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Thank you Roy Kui Peo and Bailiang for your monthly pass. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Happy Saturday everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1276. Xiao Zhao was shocked when she heard that Zhang Chen wanted to buy a computer just to play games for Zhang Xiangbei. She asked, "Are you crazy? You don't know what to do now, and you still want to encourage him to play?" Zhang Chen smiled and said, "This is not to encourage him, but to control the disease within a controllable range first. If you say you don't let him play, he will stop playing? I'm afraid he will hide and seek with you, all over Hangzhou find an internet cafe to play, then it's not just about the game, it's not safe. Even if Sun Xianjiang's father ties him up and whips him with a belt, it won't work. Will you tie up Zhang Xiangbei and whip him with a belt?" "Who is Sun Xiangyang?" Xiao Zhao asked. "Zhang Xiangbei's classmate. When I saw Zhang Xiangbei in the afternoon, he was sitting on another computer playing games next to him," Zhang Chen said. Xiao Zhao sighed and said, "Why are children today like this?" Zhang Chen said, "Wrong, not all children today are like this. At that time, if there were internet cafes and games, they would probably be similar to Zhang Xiangbei's. We would just play on the street, and we would not be called home by our parents any day. Don't worry, I'm giving him a strong drug. The first step to giving him a computer and letting him play games is to keep him away from the internet cafe and within our sight. Next, we will consider how to cure his addiction. If it's not within our sight, and we don't even know the efficacy, so how can we treat it? To treat a disease, traditional Chinese medicine requires hearing, and asking questions, and close observation is indispensable." Xiao Zhao was a little moved. At least, what Zhang Chen said was to keep Zhang Xiangbei away from the internet cafe first. Xiao Zhao felt that it made sense. Zhang Chen said with a smile, "Then you say you buy a computer just for studying. In fact, you don't use the computer much for studying. You just say it's for playing games. In the end, it's not necessarily for playing games." When Zhang Chen said this, he saw Xiao Fang staring at him. Zhang Chen quickly waved his hand and said, "You are an exception." Xiao Fang sighed and said, "Okay, I admit, when I hold the computer, only about 1/3 is studying, and the other 2/3 is playing." Xiao Zhao looked at Xiao Fang, his mouth wide open with a surprised expression. Zhang Chen smiled and said, "What are you looking at? Do you think you are in front of the computer, working all day, instead of chatting with He Hongmei?" Xiao Zhao and Xiao Fang both laughed. Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang said that if 1/3 is used for studying, it is already very good. The time saved by the computer can be used for playing. When you used to check information, you had to go to the library and go back and forth for several hours. Now you can check it on the computer in 5 minutes. Not all the time saved can be used for playing." Xiao Fang laughed and said, Brother-in-law, how come all the crooked ideas and bad things become reasonable and not so bad when you say them? Zhang Chen said proudly, that's because I will consider the problem from another perspective. The world is like this. Everything has many aspects. It depends on how you look at it. I bought this computer and put it on. Zhang Xiangbei is indeed allowed to play games at home, but at the same time, the computer is also a shackles, locking him at home. Who would go to an internet cafe to play when he can play at home? Also, Xiao Zhao, don't forget that Zhang Xiangbei still has his wife taking care of him at home, but no one will take care of him outside. He paid double the internet fee for someone else's internet cafe. If he is busy, he will leave a computer for him. Xiao Zhao listened and cursed angrily, this prodigal son. We are having a consultation now. Let me come first and treat him according to my method. If I can't cure him, you can tie him up and whip him with a belt, okay? Zhang Chen told Xiao Zhao that. Xiao Zhao glared at him and said, aren't you the one who should beat him with the belt? Nothing is absolute. No matter how naughty I was when I was a child, Lao Zhang didn't whip me with a belt. Now I go to whip his grandson, and Lao Zhang still doesn't whip me? Those two land reclamation warriors carry rocks every day, and now their muscles have been strengthened. They're like bodybuilders, I can't beat them. Xiao Zhao and Xiao Fang laughed, and Zhang Chen said, also, do you think that Xiao Shu is the most worrying person and may be delayed by the game? Xiao Zhao and Xiao Fang nodded repeatedly, and Zhang Chen said, don't worry, he is less addicted to games than me. Xiao Zhao opened his eyes wide, are you addicted to games? Zhang Chen felt a little embarrassed. After thinking about it, he said, if I didn't feel that I have a great responsibility, there are so many companies that need to be managed, so many people have to live by companies, and I don't know the choice, I might. Xiaoshu said it very well, the illusory feeling that the game brings to people is really like taking drugs. The next day, Zheng Huiyang came over at noon and brought a computer, speakers, headsets, and cameras. After installing them, Zheng Huiyang and Zhang Chen said that this was the best configuration for playing games. I was a little envious of Zhang Xiangbei. Mr. Zhang, I bought a computer for my child just to play games. You are the first parent I met. Zhang Chen laughed and said, what's the matter? When you have a child, Lao Wan will be like this too. If he dares, then he will be the first person I have to deal with, Zheng Huiyang said. What do you mean, Zheng Huiyang, are you saying that I owe you a favor? Zhang Chen asked. No, Mr. Zhang, Zheng Huiyang said quickly and laughed, it's just that interesting. I don't know how Sister Xiao Zhao let you go. Let me tell you, that teacher Ma, his son, they are also addicted to playing games, and they don't know what to do now. Zhang Chen said with a smile, when I cure Zhang Xiangbei's disease and let him come to me for advice, teacher Ma, who is so good at deceiving people, failed to deceive his own son. It is also a failure. By the way, Zheng Huiyang, you guys, how is the company now? Teacher Ma seems to be very popular now. It's not bad. Anyway, the data in all aspects looks very promising. That's right, even if you have no hope, you can still be deceived by that teacher Ma into having hope. Zheng Huiyang smiled and said, I'll leave it to you, the boss, to comment. We employees will not talk about the boss behind his back. Wisdom, cleverness, Zhang Chen boasted, but I can see that you have gained a lot. Anyway, what I do every day is what I like. No matter how hard or tiring it is, I don't feel it anymore, Zheng Huiyang said. After the computer was installed, Zhang Chen asked Lu Ligan to help find a telecommunications connection and come over in the afternoon to help him install the broadband. When it was almost time, Zhang Chen went to the school gate to wait for Zhang Xiangbei. He stood there and smoked 2 cigarettes. Then he saw Xiang Nan and Xiangbei coming out together. Knowing that computers were being installed at home today, Xiang Nan, I was also very curious. Instead of playing with my classmates after school, I let Zhang Xiangbei out. The three of them returned home. As soon as Zhang Xiangbei saw the computer, opened the configuration and looked at it, he shouted, "This is so cool, Dad, it is much more advanced than the computers in internet cafes." Zhang Chen smiled and said, "You are quite knowledgeable." Aunt Zheng Huiyang said that this is the highest configuration. "Zhang Xiangbei, why don't you take a look at how your little one is doing?" Like the internet cafe, Legend of Hot Blood was also placed on the desktop. Zhang Xiangbei clicked on it and quickly logged in. As soon as he saw Xiao Xiaopo, he shouted, "Wow, Dad, it's already level 28. Look at these equipments. This is really awesome." As he spoke, he ran around Baiki City, looking for the owner of each store, and found that all the tasks for today had been completed. Zhang Xiangbei smiled happily, feeling that it was so easy to play a game for the first time, and he didn't even need to hurry to complete the task. This is actually what Zhang Chen asked for power training, which is to complete all the tasks, even the task of defeating the big boss, so that Zhang Xiangbei has no tasks to complete, and the equipment is also configured at this level as soon as possible. The most top-notch equipment that can be worn, leaving Zhang Xiangbei with no equipment to build. Zhang Chen has already thought about it. In this game, what is driven by it is that you need to constantly complete tasks one after another, so that you can upgrade quickly. You need to constantly create new equipment and upgrades. In this case, Zhang Chen asked practice. After all these are completed, it is equivalent to the kite falling to the ground, and it is useless to hold the string. At least Zhang Xiangbei sat in the classroom and no longer had to worry about whether he could complete today's mission. He knew that there would be no problem in completing the mission, that there would be no problem in building the equipment, and that there would be no problem in upgrading. He saw that Sun Xiangyang and the others were still anxious. During this time of anxiety, the old god Zhang Xiangbei was there and felt that they were already weak chickens. Since there were no more tasks to complete, Zhang Xiangbei thought about it. He wanted to go to the Skull Cave, not to fight monsters, but to gain experience and upgrade. This was the last thing he needed to do, and Zhang Xiangbei wanted to do it. The purpose is to torture people, to get rid of the bad breath that usually comes from being bullied. Zhang Xiangbei arrived at the Skull Cave and saw a man and a woman there. The man was level 33 and the woman was level 31. Zhang Xiangbei walked up and gave the male Taoist a knife. The man immediately realized that what did Xiangbei want to do? He looked and saw that he was a 28 level thief. He cursed contemptuously, "Little red guy." The man started to fight back, but the woman became interested and cheered from the side, shouting, "Nai is special. Nai is special." Other people also gathered around to watch a fight between a level 33 person and a level 28 person. The opponent quickly realized how powerful Xiao Xiaopo was. He hit Xiao Xiaopo and Xiao Xiaopo lost very little blood. But when the opponent hit him, he lost blood very quickly. Damn it! What kind of defense and equipment is this? Moreover, Xiao Xiaopo's health returned quickly, and the Taoist priest soon gave up. The woman next to him hurriedly came up to help, but the Taoist priest was still beaten to death by Xiao Xiaopo and returned to Bit City. Xiao Xiaopo turned around and he slashed at the woman, who quickly begged for mercy. "Brother, let it go, let it go." Zhang Xiangbei laughed loudly. He turned around and shouted excitedly to Zhang Chen, "Dad, this is so cool." "Is it serious?" Zhang Chen asked. Zhang Xiangbei nodded quickly. "Are you happy?" Zhang Chen continued to ask. Zhang Xiangbei nodded repeatedly. "Then we agreed that we can only play for 1 hour a day," Zhang Chen said. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Okay, I understand." Zhang Chen turned to Xiang Nan and said, "Xiang Nan, you can take care of your brother. He can play anytime every day, but the cumulative time cannot exceed 1 hour. Say yes to the South. On the first day today, you are allowed to play for 1.5 hours. From tomorrow on, it will be 1 hour a day, Zhang Chen and Zhang Xiangbei said. That's cool, thank you Dad, Zhang Xiangbei shouted. Thank you to BA Liang, Zai Feng, First Home Loan, and Book Friends 1101152336518988 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1277. At around 1 o'clock in the morning, Zhang Xiangbei got up from the bed and turned on the light. Xiangnan, who was sleeping in the other bed, asked, Zhang Xiangbei, what do you want to do? Zhang Xiangbei said drowsily, I'm going to torture someone. After saying that, he got out of bed and walked out. Xiangnan followed and cursed, Zhang Xiangbei, you have been playing for an hour and a half. Sister, it's already the second day, Zhang Xiangbei said. Xiangnan looked at the clock on the wall and thought of what Zhang Chen told her, any time is fine. Xiangnan and Zhang Xiangbei said, okay, hurry up. He walked south to the sofa and fell down. Zhang Xiangbei turned on the computer and clicked on the game. He ran to the Baiki mine and was overjoyed. He saw hundreds of people here, all mining on the computer. Zhang Xiangbei stepped forward, swung his knife, and one of them fell down. Another blow, and another one fell. Zhang Xiangbei was so satisfied that he killed them all. The whole mine was littered with corpses. Then he quit the game, walked over and shook Xiangnan awake. Sister, I'm fine. Go back to bed. Xiangnan looked at the clock on the wall and said to Zhang Xiangbei, you have already played for 10 minutes, and there are still 50 minutes left today. Zhang Xiangbei said oh. The two went back to the room and continued sleeping. Next, Xiao Xiaopo will level up every 2 or 3 days, and the equipment will be the best. Zhang Xiangbei enters the game every day to see that all the tasks have been completed. He only has to torture people, and he has to go in the middle of the night. They raided all the mines and killed all those who were idle, and received a lot of scolding. In just over a month, Xiao Xiaopo rose from level 27 to level 52, becoming one of the high-level gods in the 55th district. Not only that, but his equipment has always been they are all the best. Even players who are 5 or 6 levels higher than him can't cut him. He can still fight with others. Wandering around in the game every day, he didn't know what else he could do besides torture people. Xiao Xiaopo had become a celebrity in District 55, occupying the first place on the murder list for a long time. There were too many people who went to the mines to kill and hang up in the middle of the night. In addition to turning him into a villain despised by everyone in the 55th district, people kept coming to discuss with him, begging him, brother, can you stop me when I hang up? Kill me? It's not easy for us poor people to earn some experience points. You, sir, have a lot of money, so why bother to make things difficult for us poor diggers? Others told him, brother, I hung up secretly without letting my boss know. If he knew, I would be dead. But I only hung up for an hour and you killed me. Brother, okay. Good. Others said, brother, don't kill me. A good man will live a safe life. Thank you. Thanks. Zhang Xiangbei was a little kid who was called eldest brother. He begged and laughed. In addition to laughing, he also felt compassion and agreed not to kill them. The problem was that there were too many people calling him eldest brother. He responded to requests. When he arrived at the mine and saw so many people, he didn't know which ones he had promised and which ones he had not, so he had to let them all go. In the middle of the night, Zhang Xiangbei stopped getting up. Xiangnan said, Zhang Xiangbei, you finally did a good thing and allowed me to sleep well. Later, Not only those who hung up on the phone begged him, but also those he wanted to torture. When he stabbed them, the first thing they did not fight back was, let me go, please let me go, Xiaopo elder brother. Or, brother Xiaopo, please spare my life. There was also a woman who directly shouted, brother Xiaopo, please spare my life. I will pledge my life to you. Zhang Xiangbei's face turned red. The knife in Zhang Xiangbei's hand is becoming increasingly unable to cut. How could you possibly cut down a person who is begging for mercy from you? No matter it was Xiao Xiaopo or Zhang Xiangbei behind him, they felt that they couldn't do anything. Now, Zhang Xiangbei can no longer even torture people. He goes to the game every day and has nothing to do. He can only walk around in Beach City and enjoy the constant greetings from people saying hello to him. Xiaopo. Brother Xiaopo, you are so handsome. Xiang Nan looked on and laughed. She asked, Zhang Xiangbei, are you a model? You go in every day and walk around like this. Zhang Xiangbei looked at her with confusion on his face. Sister, what can I do? Xiang Nan snorted, how do I know what you can do? Xiao Xiaopo was also invited to join the guild and participated in several sand attack operations. However, after playing a few times, he found it boring and quit halfway. Every time he attacked the sand, there were hundreds of people. Participate, the screen is so densely packed that even everyone's names are overlapped, making it impossible to tell who is who. Zhang Xiangbei was not a gregarious person to begin with. He felt that it was too boring to be submerged in such a sea of people. In the end, all the people guarding the palace were killed. His guild occupied the palace, and he did not know who was the leader. Gong, all of them are awesome, they all say that they are the most powerful, and those who say the most powerful are all begging for mercy from Xiao Xiaopo. What's the point of being with such a bunch of trash? What makes Zhang Xiangbei the most annoying is that the boss of the guild, the guy who yells every time, is the trash that Zhang Xiangbei despises. He has begged Zhang Xiangbei for mercy many times, and I still want to listen. Are you in command? Zhang Xiangbei quickly withdrew from the sand attack operation, and then the guild also withdrew. When someone invited him again, he made a request to fight with the person first, but the problem was that Zhang Xiangbei was now in the 55th district, not only the ones with the highest level, but also the equipment must be the best. There is no one who can beat him. He simply stopped joining any guilds. In the game, he walked around like a lonely ghost. Zhang Xiangbei found the game boring. He started to pick up the game console again. When he picked up the game console again, he felt that the game console was not as fun as before. It seems that I need to find other things to do. Every time Zhang Chen met Xiang Nan, he would ask her, how long did Zhang Xiangbei play today? At the beginning, Xiang Nan always said that he had been playing for an hour today and he still wanted to play, but I didn't let him. After a while, I no longer wanted to play, and it turned into an hour. Later, it became 50 minutes, 45 minutes, 40 minutes, the time spent playing every day kept decreasing. Zhang Chen listened and was secretly happy. He knew that his method worked. Xiaoshu discovered that games were boring, while Zhang Xiangbei made Zhang Chen feel that games were meaningless. At the end, Xiangnan and Zhang Chen said that Zhang Xiangbei no longer plays games, and he hasn't even played the game console for a long time. Then what is he doing now? Zhang Chen asked. He is now obsessed with cartoons. I allow him to watch cartoons for an hour every day, which is the same as the time for games, Xiang Nan said. Zhang Chen let out a long breath. It seemed that Zhang Xiangbei's gaming addiction was over and he was done. Xiao Zhao was very happy when she heard the news. She told Zhang Chen, my dear, you are so powerful. You have completely subdued us fools. Of course Zhang Chen stretched out his hand, flexed his fingers, then clenched it into a fist, and said proudly, who said he is my son? I am his father. His father and I are not Lao Zhang. How could he escape? Pass the palm of my hand. Xiao Zhao laughed and asked, by the way, dear, you hire someone to train and buy equipment every day. I heard from Xiao Shu that the equipment there is not cheap. How much did you spend in total? Zhang Chen didn't say anything. What he was thinking was that he would scare you to death if he told him. Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao said, no matter how much money is spent, it is better than using this money to see a doctor for my son in the future. Xiao Zhao thought it made sense, nodded in agreement, and stopped asking. However, we still have to be careful and must not be careless. Internet addiction is the same as drug addiction. Drug addiction will relapse after a period of time. The same is true for internet addiction. We must be careful and fearful, Zhang Chen said. This idiot, if he does it again, I will. Xiao Zhao became anxious upon hearing this. Zhang Chen asked, what do you want? I will really tie him up and beat him with a belt, Xiao Zhao shouted. Zhang Chen laughed, and he said, yes, don't forget to use my belt when the time comes, my belt is wide. Xiao Zhao glared at him. After Zhang Xiangbei had not played games for more than 20 days, Zhang Chen deliberately chose the time when he was out of school and ran home. Xiangnan was doing homework, while Zhang Xiangbei was staring at the computer. Zhang Chen saw, the cartoon Detective Conan was playing inside. Zhang Chen asked Zhang Xiangbei. Zhang Xiangbei, do you still want your little broken account? Do you want me to sell it for you? Zhang Xiangbei was stunned for a moment when he heard Zhang Chen's words. He turned around and looked at Zhang Chen with a confused look on his face, as if what Zhang Chen was talking about happened a long time ago. After a while, he woke up and said, Zhang Chen said, okay, just sell it. Zhang Chen called the guy from the online game company and told him, help me ask if anyone is interested in this account. Brother Zhang, you want to sell it? The other party asked. Zhang Chen is right. Why are you selling such a cool account? If you don't play anymore, why are you still here? If you didn't see this week, I would have told you to stop the power training, Zhang Chen said. Okay, brother Zhang, let me ask for you. More than 10 minutes later, the other party called and said, brother Zhang, 80,000 yuan, do you want to sell it or let us take 10,000 yuan? It's so cheap. The money I paid you must be more than 300,000 yuan. Hey, brother Zhang, isn't this how things are sold? Forget it, old friends, we'll give you 5,000. Brother Zhang, do you want to sell it? Zhang Chen thought for a moment and said, sell it? Okay, brother Zhang, please send me your bank card number. What the hell? Putting down the phone, Zhang Chen couldn't help but curse. He thought that this was the most costly business he had done in the past few years. However, it could make Zhang Xiangbei's interest rise from legendary. Going to Detective Conan seems to be worth it. Thank you for the quiet room, not seeing the future but only the original intention, the road, and the monthly ticket of book friend 1607240934044273. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1278. The legend of Xiao Xiaopo continues in the 55th area of Legend of Hot Blood. Although both Zhang Chen and Zhang Xiangbei have forgotten this game at this time, Zhang Xiangbei is now completely addicted to it. Cartoons, they are different from Zhang Chen and others. They call them animation instead of cartoons. The animation also includes the Little People's books that Zhang Chen and others are familiar with, which are also called comic strips. Zhang Xiangbei has become a Conan fan. While watching the movie, he also buys books. In fact, the degree of fan is almost the same as that of games. However, most parents believe that games are the source of all evil. Watching cartoons does not matter. As for buying books, it is considered a good behavior by most parents. No matter what kind of book you buy, a book is always a book, and books have the supreme status. Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao also thought so. When Xiao Zhao returned home and saw Zhang Xiangbei holding a copy of Detective Conan and smiling silly, Xiao Zhao would also smile with relief. If when she saw Zhang Xiangbei playing games again, she would definitely have the opposite reaction. She would really want to tie him up and beat him with a belt. Xiangnan became a fan of Chibi Mariko-chan. When Xiangnan watched, Zhang Xiangbei would laugh along with him. He felt that Chibi Mariko-chan, a girl who was a little confused and ignorant, was better than the girls in their class. Much more interesting. Xiang Nan and Xiang North both liked Charlie Brown and his Dalmatian named Snoopy. Sometimes when the two of them were at loggerheads over computers, they always ended up compromising with Snoopy. Seeing that the two people liked cartoons so much, Zhang Chen went to the home appliance market and bought them a lot of cartoon DVDs. There are Havoc in Heaven, Neza Makes the Sea, Magic Pen Mal Yang, Fisher Boy and Tadpole Looking for Mom that I loved when I was a child, as well as Calabash, which was recommended by my boss and said many people bought it. Brothers, Blue Cat's 3000 Questions and Pokemon. As a result, the two of them had no interest in Nezanea High or anything else. Calabash Brothers and Blue Cat Naughty 3000 Questions were also considered to be for childish people. Only Pokemon, both of them were interested in it. They liked it very much, which made Zhang Chen very frustrated. He repeatedly told them how beautiful the pictures were in Havoc in Heaven, Neza in the Sea and Tadpole Looking for Mom. These are all award-winning cartoons internationally. At the end, Zhang Chen never forgets to conclude. The two people looked at him with wide eyes and kept nodding. When he left, these films were immediately thrown aside by them. Zhang Xiangbei was addicted to cartoons. In another world, the little broken he created was traveling at an even crazier speed, reaching at least one level a day, or even 2 or 3 levels. You must know that after reaching level 10, it usually takes about a month for most people to advance to the next level. But for Xiao Xiaopo, upgrading is just a matter of playing and burping. People in the 55th district discovered that Xiao Xiaopo's temperament had also changed drastically. At this time, he still ranked first on the murder list every day, but this was definitely not done by getting up in the middle of the night and killing people in the mines. Those who hung up got it. After leaving Beach City, only the mines were safe now. Xiao Xiaopo would never appear there. He seemed to disdain to go. Even more disdainful of killing those hanging dead people. He has another place to go. In the wilderness, a large group of people were waiting for the big boss to appear, and when they were preparing to kill it collectively and grab the things that exploded from his body, a terrifying scene appeared. Often, Xiao Xiaopo would be ahead of the big boss. Show up and start killing without saying a word. Everyone resisted and besieged him, but soon discovered that this was ineffective. Not only was this guy 30 or 40 levels higher than everyone else, it was very difficult for others to cut him. He cut others like cutting a melon, and there is also a resurrection ring in his backpack. Occasionally, if he is killed, he will be resurrected immediately. If someone else dies, he will return to Beach City. Some people began to beg for mercy, let me go, please let me go, Brother Xiaopo. Brother Xiaopo, spare your life. Brother Xiaopo, please spare my life. I will pledge my life to you. But this little brat is no longer the same little brat as before. This little brat turned a deaf ear to all the voices begging for mercy and showed no mercy. He was so angry that the girls who said they would give their bodies to each other were lying on the ground. Scolding, "Who is your mother? She's such a pervert." After everyone was cleaned up, the big boss happened to appear. Xiao Xiaopo fought against the big boss alone. After killing the big boss, he walked away without even looking at what exploded from the big boss. Look, you know, those are things that can be sold for thousands. Because others didn't kill the big boss at once and couldn't pick up these items, they could only watch them disappear on the screen, feeling annoyed and itching in their hearts. Xiao Xiaopo no longer walks around like a boring model in Beach City. He is always elusive. Everyone said that he has been practicing in seclusion online. He is also fighting monsters and leveling up. But the places he went to were places that others simply didn't dare to go or couldn't go. Otherwise, there would be no way to explain why his level rose so quickly and his equipment was updated so quickly. It was more than a month later that Xiao Xiaopo once again became famous in District 55. At that time, his level had reached the terrifying level 152, and the highest level of the others was level 7. There are more than 10 levels, even folding them in half is not enough. At 8 o'clock in the evening, it was still the same old drama. Various guilds were occupying the Shabak Palace. One of them, with its advantage of more than 200 people, had already occupied the Shabak Palace. The president directed the others to occupy the Shabak Palace. Fighting around outside, watching for attacks from other guilds. Several girls stayed behind in the palace. They were standing and chatting. They had already talked about everything from toner to lipstick. At this time, they saw a figure rushing in. Before they had time to react, they all fell to the ground and lay there. It was only there that I saw clearly who the person was, and the president shouted urgently, "Which guild is he from?" "No, no, just one person. Just one person. Mom, it's that pervert Xiao Xiaopo." At this time, Xiao Xiaopo was standing in the palace, looking up to the sky and laughing, ha 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 ha. The president quickly called all the more than 200 brothers in the jungle to return to the defense and take back the palace. What he was thinking was, no matter how powerful you are, you can't beat the more than 200 brothers of ours, right? Everyone swarmed back to the palace excitedly, and the president shouted on the loudspeaker, "Brothers, tonight's attack on the sand is to capture Xiao Xiaopo alive, skin and cramp this bastard, quick, quick, quick. All brothers, hurry into the palace." They returned to the palace and saw Xiao Xiaopo standing there alone. He cast a wave of lightning and everyone was dumbfounded. They saw clearly that he had 250,000 blood. There are only a few hundred people here. If you try to beat him, you won't be able to kill him. What's even more terrifying is that he also has 2 resurrection rings in his backpack, which can be used alternately. This night, Xiao Xiaopo occupied the Shabak Palace alone. This news not only shocked District 55, but also the entire legend of hot blood. Xiao Xiaopo's reputation spread like wildfire. Everyone is guessing who this guy is. Some say he is a friend of Shanda boss Chen Tianqiao. Some say Xiao Xiaopo is actually Chen Tianqiao himself. Others say he is the son of a rich man in Shenzhen who suffered from polio since childhood. Sitting in a wheelchair, playing games, and being the best in the games has become his only spiritual sustenance. Various petty quotes began to circulate on the internet. The most famous one is, "Don't use your annual income to challenge my pocket money." Someone was really lying on the ground and saw Xiao Xiaopo said this, but it was just, "Don't use your annual income to challenge my pocket money, ha 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 ha." It already has a bit of a joking flavor. After passing level 220, Xiao Xiaopo had lost interest in killing people. He continued to spend money and experience every day to challenge the game itself, because the game was level 255. Capped. In the game, Xiao Xiaopo is a lone ranger, a lonely bird. He has not joined any guild. He even suggested to others that he build his own guild and serve as the president. He pretends not to hear it. He just takes one step at a time. Kill 10 people and leave no trace in 1,000 miles. There are no friends here, they are all enemies. There is one sentence he often says, and that is, "I condone none of them." Some people who know about it say that this was not what he said, but what was said in Lu Xun's will. The complete sentence is, "Let them resent them, and I will not forgive any of them." So everyone knew that if Xiao Xiaopo was really a polio patient, he was also a polio patient who had read Lu Xun, but he was definitely not Chen Tianqiao. Chen Tianqiao looked at it and found that he was not a person who had read Lu Xun. There were also girls who tried to get close to him and flirt with him, but he cut her to the ground with a backhand knife, and she became like a mother. The lonely bird Xiaoxipo didn't explain his intentions to anyone, but everyone gradually saw it. When he reached level 254, the entire network was in a sensation, and the 55th area was crowded. Thousands of people came in with newly registered accounts in District 55, just to witness with their own eyes Xiao Xiaopo's impact on level 255. Everyone estimates that Xiao Xiaopo's account reached level 254, and he spent at least more than 5 million yuan. 5 million is not an idea. At that time, you could buy a unit in Beijing and Shanghai when buying a house. This is truly a golden game. Everyone witnessed this legend in legend, watching him accidentally break through the 255 level, and his level magically became 0. Shanda official had to go online in person, make a patch for him alone, and helplessly continue to open levels. Xiao Xiaopo continued to retreat, and he still spent money and experience every day. When others rushed to more than 100 levels, he reached the limit again. At 520 levels, Shanda official once again made a patch for him and opened it. Grade. Xiao Xiaopo finally reached the 999 level and had no way to continue. At this time, his only way out was to take the trumpet and sprint to 999 again. Thank you to book friend 201710181457487727. It's past 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. I flip through books every day and reward 2 fishes. Thank you Chuanlin, Yun Menjao 1998, First Home Mortgage, Smiling to the Wind, Huaxin Yongxiao, Wanderer Xiaoliu, Yun Xin Wuxiu for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1279. Meng Ping stood in front of the huge floor-to-ceiling glass in the office, looking at Nanjing below. The entire city was shrouded in a dim halo. Opposite, the Asia-Pacific Business Building has reached the 11th floor. The construction site has finished get-off work, but there are still lights on, and there are figures walking around in the lights. Meng Ping can even see that one of them is the boss of the construction company. Complete his daily inspection of the construction site. This is a joint project between Meng Ping and Jinling Hotel. The construction of the project is managed by Meng Ping, but Meng Ping has not been to the construction site for a long time. He does not need to go to the construction site. He just stands here, looking at the opposite side, and sometimes uses help from others. With a telescope, the situation on the construction site can be seen clearly, even more clearly than on the construction site. Sometimes Meng Ping calls the boss of the construction company and tells him this or that. The boss is surprised and asks, "Mr. Meng, how did you know?" Then he immediately woke up. Boss Meng was upstairs opposite, looking here. Thinking of this, the boss was shocked. From now on, as long as he is at the construction site, he can feel Boss Meng looking over here from the upstairs. 24 hours a day, may be there at any time, can't be careless at all. This is a greater deterrent than the monitor. When the boss talked to the contractor below, he also said, "You guys, pay attention to me, Partia is watching from the other side." Or, you, don't think that Partia can't see everything you do. Soon, everyone in the entire construction site was aware that Partia was watching them from the other side and that they were working under Partia's supervision. This was more effective than any kind of supervision. Therefore, everything going on at the construction site would be clear to everyone unless Meng Ping went there. The Asia Pacific business building will be like this. It thrives under his gaze every day. When it gets higher than here and he needs to look up to it, the project will be almost over. However, this day is still early and should be a year from now. Apart from that, Meng Ping has nothing to do, he only has this one project. Meng Ping is different from Lu Ligan and even Qian Fang. They are a little confused by the lively atmosphere of the entire real estate market. They have a feeling of urgency and even hunger in their hearts. They always feel that they have too little land in their hands. Always worried that one project after another will not continue, they keep acquiring land and planning new projects. The company is getting bigger and bigger, with more and more assets, but the funds on the books are getting smaller and smaller. Meng Ping is different from them. He feels that he is old and is already an old general. He seems to have fought all the battles that should be fought. He has experienced their current situation in Hiken, and now he is a little better. I'm not excited, and I don't want to repeat the path I've walked. He doesn't have to worry about food, clothing, or flowers. He is still alive and needs to be taken care of in his old age. Although he is actually not even 40 yet, he is still in his prime, but he feels that he has overdrawn his life in advance. If he continues to live, what he lives seems to be another person's life, not his. He is very strange. I would have such an idea, but I couldn't help it, the idea came to me spontaneously. Qian Fang scolded him, saying that you are no longer the Lao Meng we knew. Why do you have no ambition at all now? Meng Ping laughed, he said yes, I am a walking zombie now. Qian Fang stared at him, not knowing what to say. Meng Ping looked at Nanjing below. He once thought that this was his Nanjing, but now, he felt that Nanjing had become very strange. Nanjing was Nanjing and had never belonged to anyone. Zhu Kongba arrived here and made great achievements. He founded the Ming dynasty, but in the end, Nanjing was still Nanjing and never belonged to him. Chiang Kai-shek built the capital of the national government in Nanjing, but in the end he went to Chongqing and then to Taiwan, where he died in Yangmingshan. Nanjing was still in Nanjing and never belonged to him. When the Japanese occupied Nanjing, they carried out a massacre in Nanjing city, but in the end the Japanese surrendered and Nanjing was still Nanjing. Even though hundreds of thousands of lives were massacred, it was not conquered. Meng Ping now feels that anyone who thinks Nanjing is his Nanjing is delusional. The final result must be that the god of death will accept him and Nanjing will continue to be Nanjing. Not to mention that Nanjing cannot be his Nanjing. What about the building he is currently in, the Asia Pacific business building opposite, and the two buildings he built with his own hands? In a few decades, these two buildings should still be there, but he, Meng Ping, has long been forgotten before them. No one knows that it was a man named Meng Ping who built them. Meng Ping sighed softly. He has forgotten how much time he has not left this building or left this office. There are still only two people in his company, a huge office area, one him and another Xiao Xing. Originally, he was a company. Xiao Xing doesn't want it either. Xiao Xing is his brother-in-law's cousin. She graduated from a third-rate university in Nanjing. Instead of returning to Wuxi, she came to Meng Ping with a phone call from her brother-in-law and asked him to help find a job. Meng Ping was too lazy to do such a trivial matter. Because she was troublesome, she was left in the company. Xiao Xing asked him, Mr. Meng, what is my specific job? Meng Ping told her that your specific job is that you don't have a job. Even the finance here is supervised by Ye Yulan, so what kind of job will there be? Xiao Xing was placed in the office at the entrance and asked, Mr. Meng, what is the most important part of my work? Meng Ping thought for a while and said, the most important thing is not to let anyone disturb me. Seeing Xiao Xing looking at him blankly, Meng Ping said, of course, it is not good for young people to do nothing all day long. You still need to learn something. What you go to learn is your job. Here, when will you come? It doesn't matter what time you leave, or whether you come or not. Anyway, I'll count you on going to work every day. Xiaoxing did go to school, learning to drive, learn German, learn flower arranging, learn tea art, and learn Guhan. It seemed that she learned many things and made herself very busy, but Xiaoxing is also a girl with a very simple heart. Although Meng Ping told her that she could come or not and at any time. But she still comes to work every day, and according to the work and rest schedule required by most companies in this building, sometimes she is late, arriving downstairs at 8:50, and she still feels anxious and hurried. He went upstairs, ran into the office with a blushing face, and kept saying to Meng Ping, "I'm sorry, Mr. Meng, I was almost late." Xiaoxing comes here every day. The most important thing is to ask Meng Ping at noon, "Mr. Meng, what do you want to eat?" I'll ask again in the evening, "Mr. Meng, what do you have for dinner?" Later, she discovered that Meng Ping didn't care about anything except the salted duck, especially the salted duck from Zhuangyuan building. She simply didn't even ask and arranged Meng Ping's diet on her own initiative. She went to Zhuangyuan building every 2 days and bought a salted duck. She asked the chef to chop it into pieces and put it into 4 paper lunch boxes. After getting it back, she put it in the refrigerator. She went downstairs to buy a microwave oven. In addition to other takeaways, I heated a box of salted duck in the microwave and delivered it to Meng Ping's office. Meng Ping was particularly excited about being able to eat salted duck with every meal, and felt that he did not have to go out. He takes a shower in the office bathroom, and his change of clothes is in the cabinet. Xiaoxing will also wash the clothes for him. When sleeping, you don't need to divide your time. You can just fall down on the sofa at any time. Do you still need to go out? Every other day, Qian Fang would call and it would be fine. The call was for greetings. As long as he could answer it in time, it meant everything was fine with him, and Qian Fang would feel relieved. Li Yang came to the office several times and found that he was in the office every time. Xiaoxing told him that Mr. Meng didn't seem to have gone out today, so Li Yang could leave with confidence. No matter it is day or night, Meng Ping will close the door of his office, and his computer will always be on. Even though it is a little broken, he will always stay in the game. Meng Ping read the newspaper one day, learned about this game, and signed up. He found that there was an interesting person named Xiao Xiaopo. For a while, he ranked first on the murder list. He killed innocent people indiscriminately, but he was also extremely soft-hearted and would let someone go if they asked for mercy. Meng Ping also begged for mercy from him twice. There is a saying that virtue is not worthy of its place. Meng Ping felt that this little compassionate heart was really not worthy of being number 1 on the murder list. Seeing that no one could kill him in the end, Meng Ping couldn't bear to kill him, so he could only kill him on the street. Walking up and down, Meng Ping couldn't help but laugh. He didn't know why, but he always felt that this little thing was like a child pretending to be an adult. No matter how he looked at it, he still felt childish. Later, this account disappeared for a while, and then I heard someone selling this account. Meng Ping spent 100,000 yuan to buy this account without thinking. After selling this account, Meng Ping said to himself, "Okay, now let's meet the real little Po." Meng Ping always felt that with the name Xiao 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 Po, he was born to be a killer. Meng Ping rushed to level 999 and had no way out. He could only bring the trumpet. Meng Ping brought the trumpet to level 19, and suddenly felt that it was no longer interesting. He had to redo what he had done before. It's as if he wants to live his life in Heiken all over again, it's so boring. Meng Ping stood up, opened the door, and walked outside. He asked Xiaoxing, "Do you want to play games?" Xiaoxing looked at him and said with some embarrassment that he played occasionally. "Playing what?" "I went in a few times and saw you playing Legend, so I started playing Legend too." Meng Ping laughed and said, "Okay, I will give you an account." You can play with this account. This account belongs to you. If you don't want to play, you can sell it. How much is it worth? How much is it worth? It's yours too. Meng Ping wrote Xiao 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 Po on the letterhead on Xiao Xing's desk, and then wrote a string of passwords. In District 55 Meng Ping and Xiao Xing said, Mr. Meng, Xiao 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 Po. Xiao Xing looked at it and his eyes widened. Who doesn't know about Xiao Xiao Po? One of those people who promised each other and cursed his mother. Xiao Xing blushed, not sure whether it was because of excitement or shyness. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1280. In the second half of 2002, spurred by China's accession to the WTO, China's economy experienced a wave of rapid growth, especially in Zhejiang, a province with an export-oriented economy and a predominantly private economy. When it comes to Lu Ligan and the others, it is really simple and crude. Whether it is houses in Hangzhou or Ningbo, they only go up. Those bosses who have made money and have a lot of export orders in their hands, when they come to buy a house, their voices are louder than before. Has the price increased? Purchase. Price increase again? Purchase. Something is not about buying up or down. As soon as I place these orders, the money will come back. Lu Ligan and Tan Shahan felt unprecedentedly comfortable. On the one hand, house prices were rising, and on the other hand, everything seemed to be going well in the company. First of all, after the Wuhan branch completely solved the problem of relocated households, Su Wenhui was able to resume work smoothly this time. According to Fan Jiangguo, the project in Xiamen can be capped this year. Although Zhang Mushin's project in Hefei has been bumpy, it seems that it can continue without any serious problems. Anyway, there are fewer and fewer calls from Zhang Mushin to complain. It seems that people still need to get along. I don't know whether Zhang Mushin got along with the compatriots in Hefei, or the compatriots in Hefei got along with Zhang Mushin. Anyway, they are more in tune now. What makes Lu Ligan and Tan Shahan feel most comfortable is that Mr. Cai and his Fubon Financial Holdings obviously saw the boom in mainland real estate and were unwilling to be absent. They took the initiative to enlarge the scale of Lu Ligan's corporate bonds and used the Sky to Heshan's property charging rights were used as collateral, and through Mr. Chiao and others, another 2.8 billion corporate bonds were issued to Lu Ligan and his company. This is also easy to understand. Since they want to increase investment in the mainland real estate industry, instead of giving it to those companies that don't know the depth, it is better to give it to Lu Ligan, their profitability and their projects in the past few years. They all witnessed it with their own eyes, and there was already a basis for cooperation. Lu Ligan and the others took the money and bought more than a dozen pieces of land in Shanghai, Ningbo, Hangzhou, and Nanjing. Finally, they felt a little full. They had enough land in their pockets. At least for the next 2 years, they would not have to pay for the land. Worry about things. Everything looks beautiful, and all the troubles seem to have been solved. In addition to the few people sent to various places, in addition to Su Wenhui, Fan Jiangguo, and Zhang Mushin, Ying Ying, Lao Wan and Song Chunming are also very happy. Being capable, every branch and every project has nothing major to worry about, and it's impossible for them not to feel comfortable. As soon as she felt better, Tan Shahan even thought about whether it was time to move to a townhouse by the Meisi River. She wanted to take Lao Tan and the two of them from Yongcheng. Tan Shahan first discussed this idea with Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen listened and said to her, Tan Shahan, I think the most important thing for you is to clarify your relationship with the Pole. What do you want? Now that the relationship between you two is clear, everything else will be easy to handle. Everyone is so old, even Teacher 10 and MRS 10. I don't think they will object much. If it doesn't work, I will talk to teacher Tan. Tan Shahen was silent for a while, and she said, our relationship is just like this, just keep it as a work relationship. I think it's good. To be honest, I really don't want to go through the trouble anymore. Then why don't you find someone? Zhang Chen asked. What do you mean, Zhang Chen? I can't do this, Tan Shahen asked. You men, do you think that all women must have a man to lean on, and it's just me and Xiang Nan? What about the Pole? I have made it very clear to him and have never objected to him finding other women. How is he and what does it have to do with me? If you think it doesn't matter, then why are you hesitating? If the relationship between you and Zhangzi is really about work, then whether teacher Tan and the others will come or not is not a matter of your own words. Old Tan, if he can interfere with your marriage, he can also interfere with your work. Isn't it because you hesitate because you need to consider the relationship between him and the Pole? You don't want them to have a quarrel? Otherwise, you don't have to ask other people's opinions, and you don't have to care about how the Pole feels. You can just take it? Tan Shahen was speechless by Zhang Chen. In the end, she stood up and said to Zhang Chen, there are some things you don't understand, and walked out. Let's put this matter aside for now. Entering October, Zhang Chen has become very busy. In the past few years, the domestic clothing market has been in chaos. Everyone is vying for land and recruiting franchisees. A clothing factory with only 20 or 30 sewing machines dares to call itself it is a brand that dares to develop franchise stores and charge franchise fees. The three major women's clothing distribution centers in China, Guangzhou, Hangzhou, and Wuhan, are a mixed bag of good and bad, with serious plagiarism and piracy. In each of the following cities, more than a dozen clothing franchise stores with various names have opened on one street. Zhang Chen felt that it was no time to delay and it was time to improve his brand image. When there are chickens everywhere, you must make yourself a crane or a phoenix so that others cannot catch up with you. For this reason, Zhang Chen and Ji Ling, after discussion, we decided to hold a large-scale fashion show at the end of November. The model was hired from New Silk Road and Chen Yifei's model company. As for the location, Zhang Chen decided to put it on Beatty, the section of the lake from the Broken Bridge to Hintai Bridge. They had already communicated with the Hangzhou Garden Bureau and obtained the model. They agreed, and the theme of the entire fashion show was Lake Light, Beautiful Clothes and Beautiful Women, and the name was Ziza Colorful Clothes, the Mountains, Waters, and People. While the fashion show is being held in Beatty, a half-acre field spring and summer clothing order fair for 2003 will also be held in the showroom of their factory. These two activities are a whole, but they are different inside and outside. The fashion show is mainly to show the strength of their company and the overall brand image to the public and the media. In addition to the invited guests, there are media reporters from all over the country, Japan, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. Leaders in the clothing industry, as well as clothing department managers in major department stores across the country. The order fair is for franchisees from all over the country to see actual samples and place orders. These franchisees will watch the fashion show at the West Lake and then return to the factory to participate in the ordering meeting in the factory. Once the time was determined, everyone's pressure suddenly increased. You must know that such a large-scale fashion show cannot be held without 300 or 400 sets of clothing. And the order fair, according to their past habits, can be held in one season. There need to be 500 to 600 styles. However, in the past, new models were continuously launched during the sales process. Now Zhang Chen requires that they be launched all at once. Moreover, the clothes for the catwalk and the clothes for the trade fair are completely different types. The clothes for the catwalk are more exaggerated in style and focus on the performance nature of the clothes, while the clothes for the trade fair focus on wearability. How many people buy clothes? People have the body of a model, and no one dares to buy the clothes that the models dare to wear. And let the models wear the clothes for the order fair. Of course they will look good, but they won't be outstanding enough, and the entire fashion show will be flat. Zhang Chen and Ji Ling said that there is actually a relationship between superiors and subordinates. The two batches of clothing each form their own style. The fashion show is about personality and breakthroughs, and the liberation of thoughts and concepts, while the order fair is about clothing can borrow many elements from fashion show costumes, but a lot of modifications must be made. There are angels in the front, and in the back, the angels must be in the world. Can't live without fireworks. I understand, I understand. When you say this, ancestor, we all understand. Several designers said. They divided the work internally, and Zhang Chen focused his main energy on the costume design of the fashion show. Shouldn't it have a stage effect and be performative? He was good at this. Ji Ling and the rest of the design center mainly focus on the clothing for the ordering fair. They all know that Zhang Chen is quick to make moves. When the time comes, they can look at Zhang Chen's designs and learn from them while designing. Zhang Chen doesn't mean to let them learn from many elements. This design work is so important. If it succeeds, it can be said that their half-acre field clothing will stand out from all kinds of people, making everyone feel that half-acre field really has a lot going for it. But if they don't do it well, it will also damage their brand image. People will think that half an acre of land is just a matter of two. He Hongmei turned down a design invitation from a crew and sent the workers below for vacation early. She took Wenwen and Qian back to Hangzhou from Beijing to help. He Hongmei expressed her own idea, but Zhang Chen disagreed at first. He said that this way your own work will be interrupted, and the nature of your work cannot be interrupted. There is no interruption. I was doing design in Beijing. When I came back to Hangzhou, I was still designing. I stayed in Beijing for a long time and did the same job. I felt a little stupid. When I returned to Hangzhou, it was just a change of mind. It's a process of learning and recharging. Why, master, I want to learn a few more tricks from you, but are you afraid? Don't want to, He Hongmei said. Zhang Chen laughed. He knew in his heart that this was He Hongmei's excuse and a good intention, so he did not refuse. On the other hand, he felt that he really needed He Hongmei. The project this time was too big, and Zhang Chen wanted to take drastic measures. Move forward and let go of your thoughts, otherwise you won't be able to impress people. And while he was moving forward boldly, as before, he needed He Hongmei to help him with the details. Okay, you are welcome to join Zhang Chen and He Hongmei said. He Hongmei was on the phone, smiling. The next day, she took Wenwen and Qian back to Hangzhou. In fact, before that, after Ji Ling told her about it, she had already arranged for workers. They went home. Zhang Chentong disagreed. She had already made up her mind to come back. He Hongmei came back. Ji Ling and the others cheered. With their teacher here, they felt more confident. Although He Hongmei came back this time, mainly to assist Zhang Chen in his work, they still felt that it helped them a lot. Mainly, they can discuss whatever matters and ideas they have with He Hongmei, and Zhang Chen, no matter what, he is still the boss. Employees are always a little reserved in front of their bosses. He Hongmei is back. The first thing Zhang Chen and she have to do is to go to Zhangjiagang again. If the clothes want to be outstanding and stunning, first of all, the fabrics must be very novel and make people's eyes brighten. Zhang Chen and He Hongmei's trip to Zhangjiagang this time is different from before. Instead of going back and forth on the same day, they will stay there for a few days. They will work with Mr. Li and others to develop several new fabrics. Zhang Chen's most important thing, the idea was to see if I could combine linen and liquor to make a stretchy hemp. Thank you to Dal Tin Soldier and RIRI Shushu for the reward. Thank you for the monthly votes of Haikuo Tian Tian, Zhangnan Jinan 0111, Why Can't I Change My Name, Book Friends 201901180252243114, First Home Mortgage, Book Friends 201905211910281129, Ho Leixen, Book Friends 202011091113511923, and WXD121. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1281. On the day he Hongmei and the others returned to Hangzhou from Beijing, they all went to Tuxianjiayuan Hotel for dinner. Zhang Chen personally picked them up at the airport. After receiving them, he took them directly to Tuxianjiayuan. The four of them went upstairs and entered. In the private room, Xiao Zhao, Tan Shuhen, Lu Ligan, Ji Yiling, Lao Tang, and Lin Shuwen have arrived. Seeing them coming in, this time Lu Ligan did not shout Sichuan girl, but said to Wen Qian, "Oh, you are back, come here, and give me a hug." Wen and Qian looked at each other. Wen and Tan Shuhen said, "Sister Shuhen, can we borrow this person for fun?" Tan Shuhen's face turned slightly red and she smiled and said, "What does he have to do with me?" Wen and Qian were overjoyed. They immediately walked over, one to the left and the other to the right, and sat down next to Lu Ligan. Lu Ligan opened his arms and before he hugged them, the two of them had already stretched out their hands. They twisted the inner side of Lu Lizan's thigh fiercely. Lu Liza grinned in pain and wanted to stand up and run away, but was pulled down by the two of them again. The other people laughed, and old Tang shouted, "This burger is good." Zhang Chen smiled and said, "It's not a hamburger, it's a Rajiamo." Lu Ligan yelled, "You two thieves, you are so ruthless when you attack." Wen looked at Lu Ligan and hummed, "You don't know that we women are all petty, how dare you provoke us?" Lu Ligan scolded, "You have such strong hands, did you learn from that bodybuilder?" "He's not a bodybuilder. Wen's current boyfriend is on the national weightlifting team," Qian said. "If you have a heavy taste, you are looking for ruthless guys," Lu Ligan said. "I want you to take care of it," Wen snorted. Lu Ligan asked He Hongmei, "Sichuan girl, how many days will you stay here this time?" He Hongmei said, "I have been here years ago." Ji Yiling said from the side, "Their dormitory has been sorted out, Mr. Lu, it's just upstairs from you." "Then I'm miserable." Lu Ligan slapped his face with both hands and covered it. "Don't worry, we will torture you slowly and we won't torture you to death all at once," Qian said. "If this is the case, you will not be included in my will," Lu Ligan cursed. "Then tell me honestly who is in your will, are they all Sister Shuhen?" Wen shouted, and everyone laughed. This time, even Tan Shuhen blushed. She felt that it would be a bit troublesome to live with these two women who spoke openly. Lu Ligan quickly raised his hands. He said, "Okay, I am completely defeated," and begged the two heroines to let them go. At this time, the food came. Neither He Hongmei nor Wen Qian had been to Tuxianjiayuan. They were immediately attracted by the food here and shouted that it was delicious. Wen said, "This is the same as the one in my hometown." "Oh no. I almost shed tears after eating it. In Beijing, you can eat such delicious food there." Zhang Chen asked Lin Shuwen how the school was, and Lin Shuwen said it was very good. "I didn't expect that so many parents would send their children to learn English, and that so many adults would also come to learn English. In our school, now there are so many children and adults, the students were about half and half." Zhang Chen said, "If I have time, I will learn everything. Before there was no internet, I had no feeling. Now I go online every day and look at foreign websites, and then I feel like an illiterate and can't understand anything." He Hongmei asked, "Haven't you started learning English a long time ago?" Zhang Chen said with embarrassment that I have learned new concepts more than a dozen times, and at most 19 lessons, tired and thirsty, in one sitting. Xiao Zhao said on the side, "I bought a lot of English textbooks, such as Su Kuozang's, Pai Pei English, Crazy English." There are about a dozen kinds of textbooks at home. I heard that I can learn faster, so I bought whichever one. The result, I bought it, but there is no one that I can learn well, it only lasts a few days. Others laughed, and Lin Shuwen said that the key to learning English is perseverance. Brother, as long as you study any textbook, you can do it. Or you can come to my school for an hour every day, and I guarantee that you can learn it well. Zhang Chen quickly shook his head and said, forget it, after hearing about 1 hour a day, I knew I couldn't do it. Now that technology is so advanced, I'm still waiting for the day when I can understand English with headphones and glasses. You can read English by wearing it. It's better to have a medicine, take one, sleep, and you will be able to speak English when you wake up the next day, Lu Ligan said. Yes, I can speak English now, but my brain can't be cured, Zhang Chen scolded. The meal lasted until about 9 o'clock. After finishing the meal, they left the hotel. He Hongmei and Wen Qian made sure to go to Zhang Chen's factory. Wen and Qian said that they had not been to the factory yet. I heard Sister Hongmei go back and say how big the factory was. When they arrived at the factory gate, the two of them were dumbfounded. Qian and Zhang Chen said, okay, I admit now that our factory is just a small workshop. The group of people went around the factory before going back. This time, because they were staying for a long time, they did not stay in a hotel. Wen and Qian, Ji Ling had arranged for them to stay in the dormitory upstairs in the dynamic zone. He Hongmei still had to go home with Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao, and Xiao Shu moved to the guest room at her parents' place was empty, but Xiao Fang still took He Hongmei to sleep with her, and He Hongmei agreed. A scumbag, must be very good if I live with Xiao Fang, a top student, for a few months, He Hongmei said. At around 8 o'clock the next morning, when Zhang Chen got up, he found that there was no one at home. At this time, Xiao Fang should have gone to school. What he was surprised about was Xiao Zhao and He Hongmei. Why did they get up so early? Zhang Chen walked to his parents' place and saw Xiao Zhao and He Hongmei here. Zhang Chen asked, why are you here so early? Xiao Zhao said that Hongmei had a gift for Xiang Nan and Xiang Bei, so she rushed over before they went to school. He Hongmei smiled and said, aren't we going to Zhangjiagang today? It will take several days to get back. Zhang Chen had breakfast, and the three of them walked to the parking lot. Xiao Zhao drove to the company, and Zhang Chen and He Hongmei went directly to Zhangjiagang from here. Give me the key. He Hongmei stretched out her hand. Zhang Chen smiled and said, why, are you taking off again? Why, are you afraid of receiving a ticket? He Hongmei asked, gesturing with her hand. I have such a thick stack of tickets in Beijing. I have borrowed all the driver's licenses of people I know and deducted them. It's not enough. You are awesome. Zhang Chen smiled and gave her the car keys. The two got into the car. He Hongmei backed the car out while continuing to talk. The most unlucky thing was Wen's current boyfriend. He had 3 points left on his driver's license that time. He said that's enough, and he's coming soon. If it's overdue, it's a violation, and the most he can get is 2 points. As a result, as soon as the driver's license was returned to him, he left our studio, ran a red light on the road, got all 3 points off, and went to study and take the exam obediently. Zhang Chen couldn't help laughing when he heard this. Just after passing the expressway toll station, He Hongmei pulled over and stopped. Zhang Chen asked her what she was doing. He Hongmei took out a disc from her bag and said proudly, let's do something. Zhang Chen knew that she was going to cover the number plate with the disc, so he quickly snatched the disc from her hand and cursed. Are you looking for death? Just leave it like this. At worst, I will study and take exams. I can get full marks in the theory class. He Hongmei smiled and said, then I must give you this opportunity. After saying that, he restarted the car. Zhang Chen looked at the disc in his hand. It was Tadpole looking for mom. Zhang Chen asked, "Where did you come from?" "Zhang Xiangbei gave it to me," He Hongmei said. Zhang Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It seemed that the things he liked were really abandoned by Zhang Xiangbei. Fortunately, it is already a highway from Hangzhou to Zhangjiagang, more than 230 kilometers. He Hongmei drove for less than 2 hours and arrived at the Zhangjiagang exit. Speeding was definitely a problem. Fortunately, there were no such thrilling things on the road. He Hongmei kept telling Zhang Chen, "You can't blame me for driving fast. If you want to blame, I can only blame your car. It's so fun to drive at high speed, 150 yards, it's stable, and it has such good grip." He Hongmei drove into San K Company. Mr. Li and his son were waiting for them in the office. When they saw an Audi A8 coming in from outside the gate, they knew it was Zhang Chen. The two of them quickly stood up and walked out. They were not surprised to see Zhang Chen. They were both surprised to see He Hongmei. They all knew that He Hongmei had gone to Beijing. They had been to Hangzhou several times but had not seen He Hongmei. They did not expect that she would meet Zhang Chen today. "Come together." "Oh, Miss He, you are such a rare visitor, welcome." Mr. Li came over, not to shake hands with Zhang Chen, but to shake hands with He Hongmei first. Zhang Chen told Mr. Li that this design task was too important and she came back specially to help me. "No problem. Once the Condor heroes appear, what problems will there be?" Xiao Li shouted from the side. After saying this, he immediately realized that this was wrong and quickly changed his words. "Damn it, I said it wrong. That's right. In terms of design and work, what's wrong with saying they are the Condor heroes?" Mr. Li smiled and said, "Mr. Zhang, am I right?" Zhang Chen could only say haha, He Hongmei's face was already blushing. After returning to the office and sitting down, Zhang Chen told Mr. Li about the fashion show they were going to do this time and the purpose of his visit. Zhang Chen and Mr. Li said that since denim can be made into stretch denim, I would like to know if it can be made into stretch linen or rami fabrics. Also, you must have seen those shiny fabrics used in evening dresses. I don't know if linen fabric can produce those glittering effects. What Zhang Chen considered was that this fashion show was held on Beatty at night. The color of cotton and linen fabrics is relatively sedimentary and dull under the light. If it can be made into glittering fabrics, the effect will not be great. Same again. Mr. Li thought for a while, and he told Zhang Chen that it was very possible to make stretch linen. We can learn from the stretch denim weaving method you mentioned. However, I only heard about this shiny fabric in the past. Shiny linen fabric is really unheard of. To realize Mr. Zhang's idea, we need to put gold or silver wire on the loom, but as you know, the thickness and toughness of the yarn count are different, so it will be very difficult, Xiao Li said. Zhang Chen said, "I don't know how to weave, but I thought, could it be possible, for example, if the warp or weft are made of gold and silver threads, so that when it comes out, it should have a sparkling effect. You can give it a try. Mr. Zhang and Mr. He are here in person. What else can we say? Let's free up a loom and let the technicians try again and again in the past few days to try to find a solution." Mr. Li looked at his watch. He said, leaving, "Let's go eat first. Thank you for the reward." At around 3 o'clock in the middle of the night, 2 fishes were placed one above the other, and the third one from top to bottom. Thank you to Fantasy in the Wind, May, and book friends 201904300640588854 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone.